right, now we're getting somewhere. One more. Oh, what a day it has been. It's safe to say that I am just glad to be in the gym right now. Very glad. It's kind of a rough day at work. Like I said, here I am. I'm just gonna put all that behind me. I'm not even gonna say another word about it because it's chest day, and it doesn't get any more glorious than a fucking chest day. So here we are, dumbbell bench press, back again. Do I have the 145s here? No, I don't. I don't think I'm. Again, I could do the 145s, but for what I'm trying to do, I don't think I'm quite there. I think another 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks or so of the 140s for solid sets of 10 to 12 with good control. And then maybe if it starts to feel a little easier, then we'll go up to the 145s. Like I said, I could do them, no fucking problem. But can I do them with the intent the same as the 140s for a decent number of reps? Honestly, I could actually probably make that argument that I could. Um, I could probably get the 145s on incline for, I would like to think, at least around 8, maybe 9 with good control. But then, what I'm thinking about is I got to do 3 sets. So by the third set, am I only going to be getting 6? You know what I'm saying? That's a little on the lower end of what I'm trying to do and accomplish here. So got a little time before that happens. Like I said, I got the 140s. Um, shall we just try a set? Shall we just jump right in? Because once I get to rambling, this will turn into another 5 minutes of me talking about mainly just nonsense, probably. Um, I think so. Let's just try the set. Let me kind of try to get amped up here, and then we'll try it. All right, I'm gonna try to restrain myself here from getting too excited and really just getting my hopes too high. But that might have been 13 reps. You guys are gonna know before me. And if it was, that is a PR with the 140s on incline dumbbell bench. And if it's not, I'm going to hang my shed, hang my head in embarrassment and shame, and go home and cry myself to sleep. No big deal. Either way, chest is already pumped up. So even if it wasn't, I mean, other than that, I don't have any complaints. Whew. That, you know, I haven't even brought up, because Sunday and Monday I was sick, and um, Tuesday was kind of rough too. That was the day that I almost skipped, and I ended up coming real late and not recording and just hitting a quick back bicep workout, more or less just for therapy. But since then, I haven't said, I actually feel pretty good. I'm over the sickness. Yesterday was good, today's good, and that felt light. So even if it wasn't 13, I was controlling it and just busting them out, and it just felt light, felt very manageable, which is fucking cool. All right, man. Now, don't be expecting 13 again if that was, or even 12. I tend to do better on my second set. I always say that. Still can't explain it. I'm probably never going to be able to, but I usually do better in the second set. But you guys seen how tough that last rep was here on this one. So even though I typically do better, the next set might not. There might be a change today. It might actually be a little worse. So, but that's okay because again, you saw the last rep here on this set. It was fucking tough. I don't always push that hard in the first one. Sometimes I'll save one rep in the tank, and obviously I didn't do that because if I would have tried one more, I was not getting it. What would have happened is I would have started going down and just fucking had to dump it because it wasn't even gonna be close. But anyways, let's do another one. I hang my head in shame. It was only 12 reps. Like I said, you guys knew that before I did. Um, and honestly, the 11th and 12th rep, I'll say it like this: it looked on camera, and I'm not just saying this just to try to talk myself up. It looked on camera harder than what it felt, if that makes sense. Every rep, I was just cruising, which is a good sign for me because 3 weeks ago or four, however long it was ago, when I hit the 140s for the first time, the PR of 12 reps, um, they weren't cruise reps as I like to call them. I want to say I'm cruising as if I'm not trying. I'm trying, but it's not overwhelming me. I can really just focus on squeezing my chest and making it a little harder than what it is. Like, don't get me wrong, this weight's heavy on the incline, but I hope you guys get what I'm trying to say. I'm not cruising, but it's like it's I'm getting stronger, so therefore I can make the weight feel a little harder than what it was a month ago, like I said, and that's what happened here. It just felt more manageable than, like I said, the first time I did it for 12. So even though it looked challenging on the last couple, and they were, it was it wasn't overwhelming. It was something that was I kind of brought into myself. And again, if I just wanted to hammer them out, there's not a doubt in my mind I could have done 13. But again, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to just hit PRs just to hit them. But anyways, set number two. Um, I'll feel it out depending on how many reps I'm gonna get. I can usually tell about halfway through. Even sometimes just a quarter of the way through, I can tell. Okay, I'll probably be right around this number. Depending on what that number is, and you guys will find out. Um, I'll either go all the way to failure again, pretty much, or maybe one rep shy. We'll see. All right, that was basically failure. I know I didn't quite fail, but one more rep, it wasn't even gonna get halfway probably. I tried to make an emphasis to count a little better here, and I'm like 90% sure that was 11, which honestly, I don't know if I'd say it was better than I expected, just based off how difficult I made the first set. But I will say it's probably at the high end of the rep range there that I thought was possible. Worst case scenario, the first set was so tough I only do 9 or 10. The best I figured it was about 11, one rep less than the first set. So, all right, man, this is fucking good start. 2 sets down. Do one more with these heavier dumbbells. Then I got the 120s right back here, locked and loaded, and I'll do a couple of those. And again, the 120s here, that's a little on the heavier end of a back down set that I've been doing with this. You know, um, I got the 140s, like I said. Usually on a back down, I go down to 115s or 110s even. But last week I started, since it's a back down set, I can afford to play around with the weight a little bit. And last week I started going on a little on the heavier side of my back down sets. So I got the 120s. That's only 20 pounds less in each arm. We'll see what happens. But I got to do one more here first with these motherfucking 140s. That might have been one of the better third sets that I've had with the 140s. Actually, probably the best one since I started doing them on this, on incline here. That felt, really, every set has felt, well, just like I said, very manageable, which is a good sign. Now, that doesn't mean that like one week within the next four, I might not have a down week. That's almost probably going to happen, but the fact that I'm having a day like today, showing improvement, the weight just feeling very, almost like I could just play with it, you know, in a PG way here. Um, yeah, it's a good sign. All good signs. So let's put the 140s up. Do a couple here with the 120s. All right. All right, now we're getting somewhere. One more set like that, with a drop set, of course, and we'll be doing something. I don't know. I got so tongue tied there, I just fucking forget it. But yeah, one more. Oh, I can feel basically I can feel all the power draining from my body with each rep. It's almost like I went from Super Saiyan to regular form from the beginning to the set to the end. Oh my god. That was good. That was really good. All right, let's I don't know what I want to do next. Like some sort of fly, obviously, right? Let me not let me not build any suspense here. You guys already know that much. Um, honestly, the gym's pretty empty actually, which is rare at this time. So I might just snag these cables and do 3 good sets of flies, hit the mid pec. We'll see. I don't fucking know. All right, I'm gonna do this in a way that's kind of emphasized to hit the lower pec, like I said, but also hit the mid pec as well. So I'm not usually if I wanted to. Did I say mid pec on the? Either way, it's gonna hit both, so it doesn't really matter. Normally, when I hit lower chest, I bring it all the way up to the top, and I go from high to low. Pretty simple, right? It's just like doing decline. That angle is pushing away from your head, pretty much. This is gonna be kind of somewhere in the middle ground there, because like when I hit my mid pec, obviously when it comes straight out, somewhere in there, relatively close. This is gonna be kind of starting somewhat high and then bringing it somewhat low, not all the way down here, but also not straight out. Like I said, kind of that middle ground. So 3 good sets here in the drop set, right? That's the goal. So add just a little bit of weight. Try to bring my number down around 12 reps. Oh my god. All right. I'm thinking one more exercise, and then I might pass out, and then we'll pose. All right. I'm thinking 2 to 3 sets here. Nothing super heavy. Just try to get good sets at this point, good reps. This is going to be the modified pec deck that I do to emphasize my lower chest a little more. And for anyone who's never seen me do it, rather than explain again, I think, rather than give a verbal description, I think a physical illustration here is the will show perfectly why it kind of emphasizes the lower chest more. You'll see the angles. You'll see why it's very similar to a decline bench, just in a fly form. So here we go. All right, I was on the fence. Well, obviously, because when I first started, I said 2 to 3. So, yeah, I was on the fence of if I wanted to do 2 or 3 sets here, but I'm thinking 3 sets. I was gonna maybe do two and then like maybe pair with a double drop set here, or maybe pair with one set of deficit push-ups. But this actually feels better than I thought. It's kind of opening my chest up, and it just feels good. So let's do one more, maybe a drop set. I don't even think I'll need it, so we'll see. And then actually, let me pull this down. And then we'll check out the pump. All right, I couldn't help myself with that drop set. It's like 90% of the time, actually probably more. Even when I say, I really don't think I need to drop set today, you might not do it. Well, I usually do it. So, like I said, 9 times out of 10, or if you could even fraction that, 9.5 times out of 10, uh, I end up doing it. I just can't help it, man. Like I said, like when you kind of get in the heat of battle, in the battle with the set, and your mind really gets locked in, and you hopefully this happens for everybody, anyways. Like I said, you really get locked in, and you really start feeling the contraction. Um, I just want to keep it going. So it's hard to say no to a drop set. But anyways, looks like I got a decent pump. Let's just check it out. I don't know if it's the best, but not bad. All right, I don't know how it looked to you guys. Sometimes I feel like my phone, and this is where I need to get a better camera. I feel like sometimes it doesn't pick up the little details, which can make the biggest difference in terms of judging your physique. Um, I mean, my camera's not bad, but I think you guys know what I mean. It's definitely not uh, like some of these people on here that have $1,000 cameras or more expensive than that even. But all in all, to me, just looking, um, not bad. Pretty good pump. I'm not really cutting anymore. Like I said 3 or 4 weeks ago, I'm on like kind of like a clean bulk. So trying to stay fairly lean, not lose my abs. Still have some striations in a lot of places, but building at the same time. So, which obviously I feel like a lot of people, that's a lot of their goals. Um, that's probably one of the hardest things to do. Stay lean. I mean, it's doable, definitely. I'm not sitting here trying to make a mountain out of a molehill, but um, to stay lean while building muscle and still looking good with your clothes off. You know what I mean? It's just I think it's more complicated sometimes than what people think. But anyways, I am done. I'm gonna wrap this up with some cardio. Um, Tomorrow actually because we had a kind of a cool spell. We got a little tease of fall, kind of edginess, but today it got really hot, and I think that like the next 5 or 6 days, it's supposed to the heat's supposed to ramp up. So we're switching back to our summer hours tomorrow and probably all next week. So I'm actually gonna have a little bit of free time because I'm gonna get off work an hour earlier than usual, and before I have to cut my hair. So tomorrow's a rest day. Yes, I'm not gonna do any lifting, but I might come in here tomorrow and do 20, 30 minutes on a bike. Try to get a good calorie burn. Um, but I guess it don't matter because you guys won't see it. But I am gonna try to do that tomorrow, and then after that, next time you guys will see me be on Sunday hitting back again. So like I said, I'm gonna knock out some cardio. Until then, see you guys Sunday.